Hello, my name is Dr. Adrienne Hicks, and I am the founder and professor of the USMLE Master System. Today I'd like to continue our video series on anemias. Today I'd like to continue by discussing our macrocytic hyperchromic anemias. Review. On last video we discussed if you suspect a patient has anemia, you should check their hematocrit and hemoglobin levels. If they are low, then we should look at their MCV levels. If they have a high MCV, which is more than 80 to 100, then we should suspect our macrocytic hyperchromic anemias, meaning that these are the cells that are going to be larger as well as darker. So if we have a blood smear, then we'll be able to recognize it. Another name is megaloblastic anemia, which means that they have multiple nuclei within the cell. There are two main examples of megaloblastic anemia. These are our B12 deficiencies as well as our folate deficiency. Let's talk about B12 deficiency first. B12 deficiency normally affects people who do not eat meat or are considered as vegetarians. These people not only don't eat meat, but meat products, and they have to have not had these products for at least 3 years. Therefore, now their bodies are not going to be able to process the B12 from those meat products. So we need those in order to bind to the intrinsic factor that's released from the parietal cells within the stomach. Now, another way for us to become B12 deficient, even if we have eaten meat, is if those parietal cells don't either produce the intrinsic factor, or we might have an autoimmune disease attacking those parietal cells. Another cause could possibly be that we have gastric bypass surgery that have removed these cells, or we could have a problem in our duodenum where our B12 is absorbed. Now, if we have ingested the B12 and we're not processing it, we have to correct the issue so we can digest it or absorb it. Now, if we are not ingesting the B12 from the meat products, therefore we need to give or replace what's missing by giving B12 injections. So, if we don't, then we can develop neurological issues such as having our dorsal column affected, and we're not going to be able to have two-point discrimination. We're going to have problems with our gait. So these are big issues when we have our B12 deficiency. Now let's focus on folate deficiency. There are several ways for us to become deficient in folate. Folate is naturally found in our vegetables. So if we don't eat enough vegetables, we can become folate deficient, or if we overcook our vegetables. Normally this is found in the older population where they love to cook the vegetables all day and they get it down to a good pot liquor. Now you must tell your patient the most nutritious thing in that pot is actually the liquid. So not only do they eat the vegetables, but they need to drink the pot liquor as well. Another way to get folate deficiency is to ingest too much alcohol. Alcohol abuse will cause the folate to be absorbed from the body. Another possible way could be medications such as methotrexate, which are chemo drugs, also antibiotics such as Bactrim, which is a combination of trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole. So these medications basically inhibit dihydrofolate reductase, which is going to prevent the folate from being formed. So these are various ways in which we can develop folate deficiency. Now, if we're deficient in folate, we do not develop neurological issues unlike B12, but we can develop a thick, beefy tongue. So these are different presentations, but they are both B12 and folate deficiencies are our macrocytic hyperchromic anemias, also known as our megaloblastic anemias. But if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me at questions@usmlemastersystem.net and visit our website, www.usmlemastersystem.net.